Hey guys, and welcome to another video. So I thought whilst I was eating lunch, I guess I'll go over my nutrition for you because it's changed a lot in this past year. And I thought it might be interesting to compare my style of eating over the time and compare it to where it is now when I'm competing in an industry where some people would say it's the most unhealthy diet industry there is out there. Because for me, my relationship with food at the moment is the healthiest that it's ever been. So, whilst I eat, listen up. Some of you may know that I've come from a history of an eating disorder. So I was diagnosed with my eating disorder when I was 11 years old. And that was going on for a while before then. And pretty much I was diagnosed with anorexia nervosa and I was just starving myself of food. I was eating probably 3 apples a day, max. I would have a small serving of oatmeal in the morning. It would be 1/8 of a cup of oatmeal. Makes me really sad just thinking about it. I was diagnosed with my eating disorder and I received treatment throughout time from when I was 11 to when I was about 16 years of age. Throughout that time, however, I was never taught how to eat food again. I was never taught the right ways in eating food. I was just told I have to eat this food, I have to eat within a certain time. If I don't eat it within a certain time, if I don't eat the food, I'm going to get it fed through my nose with the nasogastric tube. So it's not a very encouraging way to try and get someone to eat food. It creates a really negative relationship with eating because something that you have to do, you don't enjoy it and you're doing it to get it out of the way, to get it over and done with. So when I came out of treatment, I didn't know portion sizes. I didn't know how fast I was meant to eat or how slow it takes the normal person to eat. Food was just something that, right, my food's here, I've got to eat it, let's go, let's get it over and done with. It wasn't something that was really like enjoyed, and I still had that negative relation with it because of that. Around 15, 16, 17, that age, I would restrict and binge. Even though I was out of treatment, I still wasn't really healthy with my food choices, and food wasn't something that I was 100% comfortable around. Then moving on to when I started to go vegan. I decided to go vegan kind of overnight. It was something that I'd been looking at. I wanted to do it. I realized everyone said I was a really compassionate person, but it didn't add up for me in my actions when I realized what I was supporting, how I was eating. A lot of people were worried that it was another form of eating disorder, a way of me to control my food, but for me it really was about being the compassionate person that I am throughout everything that I do. So I went vegan and I jumped straight on to that high carb, low fat lifestyle. That did not help. That did not help my portion sizes at all. That did not help me know the right type of foods to eat. That did not help me form good relationships with all types of food. It made me stay lean. It helped my diet, it helped my skin, it helped my digestion, but it did not help my relationship with food. It made me enjoy food. I loved eating because I could eat all this food. It helped with my mental hunger, but it did not help in terms of me making further restrictions on myself, and it didn't help teaching me, I guess, how to eat in normal eating situations where I wasn't able to blend up a 10 banana smoothie or something like that. So I lost weight on the high carb, low fat lifestyle because from my recovery I gained quite a lot of weight. That wasn't really necessary and I wasn't really comfortable with, so I lost weight. Blood work was amazing. I had previously been anemic, but now I was eating lots and lots of fruits and lots of veggies and stuff, so I was getting all my vitamins and minerals, but I wasn't eating fat. I wasn't getting my period. I went off the pill and I still wasn't getting my period. I was eating, next to no fat and definitely not enough protein, and I was going to the gym every single day and I wasn't seeing any results, and I wondered why. And so I just keep on eating more and more carbs and stuff to the point where I was physically full, and I would eat all this food because I felt like I had to eat it, because I felt like I had to be high carb and I had to eat all this food, when really it's not necessary. And I didn't know the right portion sizes. My friends would come over to eat and they'd be like, fuck, you eat a lot of food. And it's not a bad thing to eat a lot of food, but the amount of food that I was eating should have been giving me the results that I wanted, but it wasn't, because the macronutrient profile was all wrong. I could have been so far ahead, my body and everything, but because I was just only eating carbs and certain foods that I could eat and stuff, I wasn't getting to where I wanted to be. But I didn't want to change my eating because that was all I knew and that was what I was comfortable in, because I knew that I'd lost weight on it. So it worked for me I thought it worked for me in a way. My ex-boyfriend got into counting macros, and at the time I was like, oh my gosh, that's a horrible thing. Why are you counting food? Like, oh, that's triggering me. Like, I don't like it. It's scary. And I didn't want to hear it. I didn't want to know about it. And I always thought in my head, counting macros is bad. You shouldn't be counting your food. You don't need to count your calories. Intuitively eat. You're eating the right things. You eat what your body wants to eat what your body's craving. And I still believe that in a way, that you have to eat what your body's craving, and if it really wants something, then like, have it. I had this really bad negative mindset with counting macros, and because of that I didn't do it. When I met with my coach late last year, when I was like, yep, okay, I want a nutrition coach. I'm not getting the results I want. If I want to compete, I need someone to tell me what to do. I can't tell myself what to do. He was like, okay, you got to count your macros. You need to know how much of this you're eating, how much of this you're eating, and how much of this you're eating. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to get so restrictive and I'm going to get so obsessed with it. And ew, I don't want to not eat carbs, and I don't want to eat all that fat. Like, all that fat's going to make me so fat and my skin's going to break out. And oh my God. In reality, my skin improved 100%. My period is now back. So I got my period actually the day after my competition, and I think that's a pretty cool thing to say, although it was kind of annoying because I was a bit bloated on the day, but not many girls who compete get their period, and I got it, and I hardly ever get my period, so that was really exciting. Well, not hardly ever, but my period's really random still, but I get it. And so that was really cool for me to say, yeah, hey, like, I'm healthy enough right now. When people say that contest prep diet is the most unhealthiest you'll be, and I'm proving that I'm healthy enough, and my body's proving that I'm healthy enough, because I'm getting my period. Like, that's a sign of health. My bloating went down. I used to get really, really bloated because I was eating all these carbs and all this fiber, and it was a bit too much for me. And then when I started replacing out the carbs with fat and protein, my bloating went away. And I was actually finding that I didn't need to eat these huge portions because the fat and protein was fueling me up and filling me up. In my head, I thought of carbs as vegetables. Yep, vegetables are a carb, but they're really low in calories. So no matter how much you eat of them, you're not getting the same amount of energy out of them than if you were to put in some like avocado and stuff in there as well, or eat, I guess, more starchy based carbs. So I was kind of under eating on some days and then really overeating on other days. But with macros, because you follow it, you kind of level out and you have a balanced food days, which I think is really good in helping me normalize my hunger levels and just balancing portion sizes, so I don't feel like every time I sit down to eat I have to eat these really huge portion sizes all the time. With portion sizes, because you're counting your macros and because I can only really eat like so much a day, it taught me the right portion sizes for me and what's a normal portion size of this. So now, like, I'm not always eating to the point where I'm full, and I'm not scared of being hungry because I know what I'm going to eat next and I know what I'm going to eat next. I also had a huge fear of fat before I started counting my macros. So for me, enough fat for a week would be a tablespoon of peanut butter or some tofu. I thought tofu was really fatty for some reason. I only let myself have tofu or soy products about once a week or once every 2 weeks. So now I'm having them pretty much every day. And peanut butter once a week. Avocado once a month. For some reason I thought avocado was worse than peanut butter. Worse. It's the best. Actually, peanut butter's my favorite compared to avocado, but anyway. Counting macros for me has helped a lot. I think you really have to not be so harsh on it, because when you first hear it, you're like, oh, why is this 19-year-old girl counting her food? That's not living. She doesn't need to do that. I can eat everything that I want to eat. I just have to rearrange my food around. So if I want to eat a big bowl of oats and like a really carby meal or banana ice cream, I can eat that. But I just have to think, oh, well, what I want to eat next and work my way around that. There's alternatives for everything. And this is the diet where I've actually started seeing results. I'm not bloated. I've got my period back. My blood work's good. Like, I'm finally healthy and happy and seeing the results that I want to see. For me, the high carb, low fat lifestyle worked in regards to weight loss and in regards to teaching me to enjoy food, but it didn't work for me in regards to creating a healthy mindset with all food groups, creating a healthy mindset with knowing what portion sizes are good. Yeah, not fearing hunger. Now I can eat a meal and be like, okay, I'm not stuffed, but I'm gonna eat a little bit later, so I don't need to be stuffed. And I can be like, oh, I haven't had my fats for today. I need to hit them because otherwise I'm not gonna get the results in the gym. Yeah, just fueling my body by what my body needs and not what a group of people say that it needs, because everyone really is different and nutrition can't be just generalized because it works for some and works for others. I think the high carb, low fat lifestyle is a really good way to promote veganism because it's delicious, it's fun, it's enjoyable. But if people want to start getting results in a certain fitness lifestyle, if people want to start overcoming fear, then it's not a good way. And if people want to start knowing what they're eating and knowing what they need more of, then I think, and creating just a balanced lifestyle, then I think that's where the importance of counting your macros and knowing what you're eating instead of guessing is really important. That video went a little bit longer than expected, but I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions or anything, let me know, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, check out my Instagram, Shannon McKenna, and check out my Facebook, The Ground Up Personal Training for boot camps and I guess a bit more on my fitness journey. Alright, I'm going to finish the rest of this. See ya.